In our last video, we automated these lights to turn on with motion. But what if you're not home? Then you've just got a dark house advertising for all the bad guys in the neighborhood to come in and steal your jewelry and your hamster and your Hubitat Elevation. That's terrible. So let's fix it with another automation right now. Hey folks, Pete the Hubitat Hub Whisperer here, helping you make the most of your elevated home. If the movie Home Alone has taught us anything, it's that even the dumbest criminals are not going to be fooled by one of these old school timers that turn your lights on and off at the same exact time every single night. So what are we going to do? We're going to mix it up. And fortunately, we have a smart home. And with Hubitat Elevation in our Rule Machine app, you have the ability to automate lights to turn on and off at a random time within a selected window every night. For our automation, we're going to automate this light to turn on sometime around sunset and turn off sometime around 10 o'clock. And this bedroom light will turn on sometime between 9:30 and 10 and then turn off an hour or so later. Burglars are going to see this, they're going to think you're home, and they'll rob your neighbor's house instead. It's a win-win. For this automation, we're using the Hue light bulbs in our living room from our last video, and we're plugging a bedroom lamp into a smart plug. Now let's dive into Rule Machine and show you how to set this up. Alright, so for this automation, because we're using random times, which is kind of a neat feature, we will have to use Rule Machine. So we're going to open Rule Machine up right here. We're going to create a new rule. We're actually going to separate our two lights into two different rules just to make it easier for us. So this is going to be for the living room lights. We only want this automation to work when our hub is in away mode. So we're going to click here and this use required expression. We're going to find that as a new condition. And that condition is going to be a mode. And we're going to select when we're in away mode. You may have a vacation mode. Whatever mode it is for when you're not home, you want this to work. Now, if you don't like to use mode, you could select a capability as some sort of a switch or button that you've pressed before you leave. But for our purposes, we're going to use away mode. So we're done with that condition. We're done with all of our expressions. We're done with the required expression. So this rule will only work when our hub is in away mode. So now we need to select our trigger events. And for our living room lights, that's going to be sunset. So we're going to select the capability. It's going to be a time, certain time. We're going to select sunset. And we're going to offset that by negative 20 minutes. So 20 minutes before sunset. That's the same time that we trigger our last motion rule. So we're done with our trigger event for that. Now, done trigger events, we need to select our actions to run. So here's where we're going to add the randomness to this. We don't want it to always just come at sunset because the bad guys can figure that one out. So we're going to select our two light bulbs that we want to select to turn them on. These are switches. Light bulbs are considered switches. So turn switches on. We'll select living room 1 and 2. That'll work for that. And then we want to add a delay here. We're going to add a specific time. So we want to have this turn on anytime between, about a half hour, give or take, from our trigger time. So we'll just say 1600 seconds. So we're going to select random here. And so what that means is that sometime between the trigger time and the amount of seconds we selected, it's going to turn this light on. So we're just done with that action. And then we need to add another event to turn this off. So at some point in the 26 minutes, it's going to turn on. And we're going to wait then. We want to add a wait or delay. So we're just going to wait for a certain time. We're just going to say at around 10 o'clock. So we're going to have our rule wait until 10 o'clock. And then once it reaches 10 o'clock, we're going to add another action here to turn this light off, again at a random time. So we're going to control switches, turn switches off, make sure this is to turn off. So that's highlighted right there. We're going to select our same two switches, the living room 1 and 2. And then we're going to add another delay in here with a random time. So we're going to say it's another roughly half hour-ish or so. In there, we're going to select random. So again, at some point after 10 o'clock, within 28 minutes of 10 o'clock, this light's going to turn off. So we're going to say we're done with that action. Here's our rule. Now we need a similar rule with different times for the upstairs light. So to make this easy, we're just going to clone the rule we just made and then change the lights and times for what we want for the upstairs light. So we're going to click this gear icon right here. We're going to click the export, import, clone button up there. And we're just going to clone away from living room. Clone that. It's going to ask us to replace the devices for this new rule. So instead of living room 1 light, we want Sam's bedroom light. And same thing for living room 2. It's sans bedroom light. It'll just basically replace both with the one light when we do that. And then we're going to clone that rule. It's cloned. Good job, Hubitat. And now we're going to go in here. You'll see the new rules right here. We're going to click in and make some edits here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this to Sam bedroom. So we got our new rule. Our required expression is the same thing. We only want this to work when the mode is in away mode. But our trigger event is going to be different. Now what we need to do is edit this trigger event. We're going to go here, edit trigger event. Instead of making it sunset, we're going to select a specific time for this to trigger. 9:34 p.m. we are going to trigger the upstairs bedroom lights. So we're done with the trigger event. That's the only trigger we want. So at 9:34, what do we want to have happen? We want Sam's bedroom light to turn on after some random delay and turn off again at another point. But these times are wrong. So again, we have to go in here and edit these actions. So the first action we want to edit is the first one. So we're going to make this delay a little bit more. I think there's more variable in the bedroom as far as lighting goes. So we'll make that about 2600 seconds right there. And again, we want to make sure that is random. So we're going to edit our next action, which is the wait for event. Our bedroom light's going to stay on past 10 o'clock. We're a bit night owls here. So we're going to say this doesn't get triggered till 10:44 p.m. Looks good there. So our light's going to stay on at least until 10:44. We're done with those. And then at that point, we're going to turn it off after some random interval of time again. So we're going to add that final action. Turn Sam's bedroom light off. And we're going to make this, say about, so we've made all of our edits right there. We're done with our actions. And again, this rule looks the same as the other one with just a few changes of time and whatnot. So that's our rule. I guess the only thing left to do is take a company paid vacation and see if it works. We've let our vacation rules run for a couple days now, so if we look at our past logs, we can see that our living room lights turned on and off at random times, and the bedroom light has done the same. Well, it looks like our automation worked perfectly, but I might extend my vacation a couple days just to be sure. Hope you enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you see future videos when they come out. And if you have ideas for automations you'd like to see us demonstrate, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for watching, and thanks for elevating your environment with Hubitat Elevation.